In this lesson, we will be going over some basic musical terms that you will encounter in some of our other videos. Let's start by going over pitch. Pitch refers to the relative highness and lowness of sound. For example, this is a low pitch, while this is a high pitch. All instruments produce pitch, but the ranges at which those pitches are produced vary. Although different instruments can produce the same pitches, they maintain their instrument's qualities, which brings us to our second term, timbre. Timbre has to do with an instrument's distinct tonal quality. For example, let's listen to a piano, violin, and acoustic guitar playing the note middle C. Notice that they are all at the same pitch level, but each note sounds like its corresponding instrument. The next two terms have to do with moving from one note to another. The first term, half step, which can also be referred to as a semitone, is the shortest distance between two notes in Western music. So as an example, if we start on middle C and move one pitch higher or lower, we have moved a half step. When using a guitar or another fretted instrument, a half step would be one fret movement higher or lower from your starting fret. A whole step, which can also be referred to as a whole tone, is twice the distance of a half step. So again, if we are on middle C, we would now move over two half steps higher or lower. Looking again at our fretted instrument, we would now move two frets higher or lower from our starting point. The final term we will be going over is accidentals. There are 5 different accidentals, but the sharp, flat, and natural signs are what we are mainly concerned with, because they are seen far more often than the other two. When we place a sharp sign next to a letter name, we make it higher by a half step. As an example, looking at the note G on the keyboard, the black key directly to the right of it could be called G sharp. A flat, on the other hand, lowers a note by a half step. Looking at the note A on the keyboard, the black key directly to the left of it could be called A flat. Notice that G sharp and A flat are the same note. When two note names produce the same tone, we call them enharmonic equivalents. We have both names because depending on the context of the music we are dealing with, one or the other would be more appropriate. We will deal with this issue more in our lesson about key signatures. A natural sign is used in music notation to cancel out a preceding sharp or flat. As an example, assuming the staff pictured is a bass clef, the first note is A flat and the second is A natural. If the second note did not have the natural sign in front of it, the preceding note's flat sign would carry over to the second note, making them both A flat, even though the second note doesn't have the flat sign directly in front of it. Although we don't see the double sharp or double flat that often, you should still understand them. The double sharp is simply twice as far or a whole step higher than the original note, and the double flat is a whole step lower than the original note.